Gail Simone is someone that I've never really talked about on my channel before. She is according to Google, an American writer best known for her works in DC's Birds of Prey, Batgirl, Dynamics Entertainment, Red Sonja, and being the longest running female writer on Wonder Woman. Gail Simone is also a very toxic individual who rage baits her Twitter all the time, from little things such as the comment she made about tabletop games in other genres, like Google, honey, Google. All of this stuff is designed to get reaction clicks, and it is a form of attention seeking. Her career has been littered with drama, from harassing former employees and her co-workers, but also harassing, doxing readers. Doxing, allegedly, I would like to add. Gail Simone is the prime example of what's wrong with the comics books industry at this point in time. And it's not uniquely a female thing, it's male writers too. If you don't like my politics, don't read my book. And that immediately gets people's backs up, even if they necessarily agree with you. I do feel like creatives need to learn to be quiet and have a bit of class. Negative, positive reviews, whatever, it happens. I posted something, and we're going to talk about it today. So I posted this tweet to my community tab on Facebook. Gail Simone is the first in comics to 1. Get hired with no experience. 2. Weaponize message boards. 3. Weaponize Twitter against her bosses when she was fired from DC, and normalize bullying co-workers. She is partly responsible for this weird comic book culture war that's happening now. The thing is, why I do think hired with no experience is necessarily a little bit harsh. She has weaponized message boards. She has weaponized Twitter against her bosses, but also against comic book readers and fans of comic books. And she has normalized bullying co-workers. I mean, some of the stories that have come out have been horrific. She also rage baits on Twitter, like I said, and posts things purely for attention and clicks. It's kind of sad, to be honest. And her relevance only seems to exist on Twitter. Outside of that, she is irrelevant in many ways in terms of writing and creation. She is an artist with very little, or a writer, an artist, whatever you want to call it, with very little actual relevance outside of the echo chamber she creates. She's also come after YouTubers and several other people too. So this is there's a whole list of things that have come out about her that have been said, which have been proven to be true. I do say that the hired with no experience, she had very little to no experience when she started, and the problem is she was hired into companies where she had no experience of the superhero genre. It's not that difficult to say. I mean, it's very much in front. You can look up her own history, her employment, and so on. When I posted that, I would say 99% of the people agreed with me. We were laughing and joking and having a bit of fun. There is a bit of toilet humor on my channel. Now, there was one person that I'm actually kind of disappointed in, because it really goes to show how disconnected certain subscribers are from your content, and this is prime example of it. Apparently, my use of the word sucks, which I can't remember actually using within the context of anything, I think I said her work sucks, is apparently implying that she traded OS for her job. No one said that, no one talked about it, and I do feel like this was a kind of a personal take, and I'm sorry if that happened to you. I genuinely am. But I do feel like you're over-personalizing and projecting something onto this where it really wasn't there. No one mentioned that. And it seems kind of strange that you went down that road with this comment. And again, if something horrendous happened to you, I'm genuinely sorry. On the other hand, the comments, frankly, your snap cap just reads like anti-woke warrior challenging the existence of influence of women in comics. Some of the greatest female writers have written for comic books. Go back to the Golden Age. Go back to the 90s and 80s. There are some phenomenal female writers, and there are some phenomenal female writers now. I don't like Gail Simone's writing. I think she's a terrible writer, but ultimately, there are people far superior to her within the industry now, which I find very interesting. Yet they don't get a huge amount of traction, which is a shame, but partly because they're not screaming on Twitter and rage baiting and attacking people. But that's a whole... Again, I mentioned that at the start of the video, and I'm not going to repeat myself here. The comment then goes into, where is your parallel condemnation of screenwriters, directors, poets, and playwrights? If objecting to woke politics in fiction is your hill, have you not watched my channel? Have you not watched me? Seriously, that is a question I want to ask you. When was the last time you watched a video of mine? You haven't interacted in God knows how long. And ultimately, it feels like, again, you are projecting here and you are seeing what you want to see rather than what's actually in the discussion and the comment. And then it descends into, it's not the first time you've done this, but the first time it's irritated me enough to speak about it. I recognize this argument structure and I'm disappointed in you. You can do better than this. Never say that to another human being, because seriously, you would never have the guts to say that to someone's face. Seriously, you wouldn't, because you know what would happen. I find it interesting that you've gone, I recognise this argument structure when I was making fun of Gail Simone. That's all. Making fun of a trashy writer who can't write for anything. You know, that's what my channel is largely about. You've not watched my content. Then I am disappointed in you and you can do better. The condescension here is just off the charts. Again, I'm disappointed in you and you can do better. What I find funny about the whole situation in this comment alone is that you've chosen to weaponize your own, rather than looking at things objectively, rather than looking at things through a critical lens, you are personalizing and projecting your own comments and your own feelings on this post. And it's ridiculous. I apologize, my phone is going off. And I can't edit that out. The whole argument here is that you wanted a reaction. You wanted something. You wanted me to speak. You wanted me to dissent. When I said, fine, that's your opinion, and just stated out with a few home truths, where I was like, well, this is actually factually true. Here is a link. Here is the receipts of Gail Simone's behaviour. I got this back. Are you trying to manipulate me into sending it to name-calling? But I thank you for being honest enough to admit your entire channel is a facade and your presentation is not genuine. Take some guts to admit that on a public space. I will say my earlier booktube stuff was a facade. I projected an image and I did it on purpose to separate me. And I kept a lot of my opinions to myself. I censored myself, which is not healthy. Since 2019, I've been me. And that's what you've got on this channel. But I wasn't manipulating you into name-calling. You were trying to manipulate me into name-calling. And once you started doing that, that's when I just lost patience. I didn't admit that my entire channel is a facade. I said that in my history of YouTube, I censored myself in my early days of content creation because I was scared of pushback for my opinions. I was scared of drama. I was scared of people. Because you know what this can be like. I never admitted that my presentation is not genuine. I just said I censored myself and didn't give my opinions that much in the early days of this channel. This channel's been around for 6 years. I feel like you were trying to manipulate me here into an argument. You were trying to manipulate me into being the bad guy when you just came here for a fight. And I'm utterly disappointed in you for that, because you should know me better, considering you were here for so long. But after that, you are no longer welcome on my channel at all. And it's very simple. You are no longer welcome. The fact that you wanted this fight and you wanted this argument just goes to show that instead of looking at things objectively, a lot of people can't. And it's really sad. You always used to leave such brilliant comments. Brilliant comments. But hey-ho. Another one bites the dust. So, as always, tell me what you think in the comments below. Memberships, Patreon, and Insta and Twitter are all down there. So, and I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys have a wonderful day.